Hey guys.
Oh, we're over there.
We're over there, we're here and there. We're everywhere. I reckon.
Because you got that picture of my wedding picture.
Yeah.
I'm talking to you. Like I'm naked.
No, you actually go really well with the background. So
I'm sweet.
in here. So we're on YouTube live. I've got my shit together this week. And we're on Instagram live, and this will be on Spotify on my new podcast page, so the Coach O Show. All right. Awesome. We are here with Jacqui, Six-Pack Jack, I call her. Woo! She is the champagne celebrant. So if you guys have a wedding coming up, you've got to get in contact with her because she's the coolest celebrant and fantastic at her job as well. So
I should be drinking champagne.
She does, yeah. Do you drink that much champagne?
Well, I like to tell people I do, but
at the moment,
I'm in comp prep, so
yes,
no champagne for this girl.
No champagne at the moment. So, and you are an all-star.
I'm a Survivor all-star.
Survivor all-star. For any of those fans out there tuning in, we will. All right. Is that better, guys? That's straight?
That's straight.
Cool. So I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, Jacqui, that I didn't
talk.
Sure.
But I've got a good balance. But at the moment I'm in comp prep. I'm training for a natural body building comp. So I was pretty down in the dumps, and I was thinking, oh God, I've got so much rehab ahead of me. After that, I had a great. I was training. I thought rehabbing. I thought to myself, I'm gonna use this training for something else, and I'm gonna compete in a bodybuilding comp.
Amazing.
And so I went in 3 comps. I got an over 50s world title for fitness model, and I'm going to go back to defend that in a few weeks. So wish me luck. Amazing.
So I think this is, it's great for people out there, especially in your age group. You're a real go-getter. By even my age, like age of 30, they're just like, oh, it's too late. I'm slowing down. My body's slowing down. What makes you want to go out there and get it?
I think if you can back yourself, you're halfway there. Like, if you want to find an excuse, you'll find one. And so that doesn't even enter my mind. If I want something bad enough, I'll go for it. And I think it's about surrounding yourself with supportive people. And I thought to myself, you know what?
Mm-hmm.
Why not me?
Why not you? Remember that line. Why not you?
Why not me? I thought I had something to offer, and some people might see that as a bit up yourself. I don't know, but I thought, I'm quite entertaining. I'm quick-witted. I can give these young chickies.
You've got some good support with your partner, your parents, that sort of thing. Or
yeah. I think Mum gets a little bit. Jacqueline, you're not going to be in the paper in that bikini, are you? Going, yes, Mum, I am.
Yeah.
But I think too, a lot of people that are either, I think some people, how can I say this? I think you're the average of the 5 people that you knock around with. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there's some people, it's like when the lady in the office is just a hamstring tear because she wasn't strong enough for the sprinting. Mm. And it was just a downward spiral of the people that were around her. So good on you for having. It's good for people to understand. I feel great. I feel as strong and as fit as I did when I was 22. I feel fantastic. Fantastic.
You look fantastic too.
So it might be the filter there.
It's a good filter. So I wanted
to bodybuilding camp when I was I was like 6 weeks off stage, but unbeknownst to me, I was actually preparing for the toughest game on earth, which I just wanted to, because it's a number of components that make up the game. I think you had to get your mind right as well as your knowing that when situations come up that are uncomfortable, that this too will pass. Mm-hmm. And I just think that you had to try and be in the moment, but also understand that when it's raining cats and dogs, that it's going to be sunny tomorrow.
Yeah, that was a real big mind effort. I don't want to know. I think it spoils it for everyone. So I haven't, even though, we all do keep in contact via WhatsApp, like since day one. You're always the first one in the know. Jacqui's the first one on there, like, oh my God,
it's Henry's birthday. It's Henry's birthday, yeah.
So you're good like that.
And injury, of course, too. I just think, first of all, you've got to make time for yourself. I know everyone's busy, they've got kids and they've got work and they've got commitments, but there's always time. I'm usually at the gym at 4 because that works, or sometimes it might be 5 if I'm late. But that's how I like to start the day. But I just think, it's important to have a goal, and when you reach those goals, it's also important not to stop. I like to have something in the pipe. At the moment, I've got a shoulder injury, so I'm training legs. It's not about, my shoulder's sore, so I'll just stay home and I'll just whatever. You just go to the gym and you find something else to do. And that's what I find with a lot of, especially women that are getting a bit older. It's, I've twisted my ankle, or I've done this, or I've done that. So therefore, I'm just going to throw it all out the window and go back to old habits that might be not so good habits. What about going to a heated pool? What about getting on a bike or, whatever? There's always something else that you can train or do. And if you've got your diet is often a debt 80%, and you know that too. So if you can nail your diet and just make some tweaks here and there, get some good advice from people that really know what they're talking about, it can go a long way. There's a lot of people out there that don't really know what they should and shouldn't be eating.
Yeah. You don't stop eating, that's true, but
I don't stop eating.
The food you eat?
Yeah. So ask my husband or any of my girlfriends. I'm a big eater in raspberries or strawberries.
And do you weigh your food?
Everything's weighed, but generally, like in my normal life, it's not weighed, but usually you can eyeball something of knowing whether it's going to be a big helping or it's the right size helping.
Yeah. But so berries and yogurt.
Berries, shebang yogurt, oats, bit of stevia on top. So you're not having a calories with sugar or honey. Bit of stevia. And I just mix that with water.
And then do you do a lunch and dinner, or?
Yeah. So I'm a big advocate for the air fryer. My air fryer lives on my bench, and I think what works for me, and I think would work for most people in general, is being prepared. You've got to be prepared, and because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So I do a big cook up. So I've got all my pumpkin, all my sweet potato, all my beans, my mushrooms, my cauliflower, my zucchini, whatever.
Yeah.
It's all weighed up in bags. So I know 300 grams of this, 200 grams of that. So overnight, I can just go to the freezer, get my 5 lots of veggies out, put them in the fridge. They're defrosted by the next day.
Really?
I do a big batch of poached chicken on a Sunday, and I'll do a couple of weeks in advance.
We should do a cooking segment for you guys, but this is a really good tip. So make sure you're listening up. This is something you can apply that's very, very straightforward and easy, but it works so well for you.
Pumpkin is, I'm telling you, pumpkin is a big go-to because pumpkin, I think, has got about 18 calories per 100 grams. So you can eat half a kilo of that yellow stuff, and it actually turns you a bit orange after a while. It's a build-up of better carotene in the yellow vegetables, orange vegetables. So pumpkin's really great. Chuck it in the air fryer. Throw some herbs and spices on it, and
it's really satisfying.
I basically eat very clean. But in all seriousness, when my comps are over, I will be cracking a bottle of herb and getting some goat's cheese or some blue vein with a bit of quince paste or something.
Sounds good. Hey, yum.
Join me.
Yeah, I'll be down to join on that. So, in saying that, hi everyone, and in saying that, so. What I was going to say, what do you actually weigh? If you don't mind.
I weighed in this morning at 56 kilos. 56. I may not look 56 kilos, but I am.
And how tall are you?
I'm probably a bit under 5'6". I think I'm 5'5.5" or something, but I like to say.
Yeah. Okay.
But I will probably get down to. I've probably got a couple of kilos. I'll probably get down to 53
for the comp.
or something for the comp. Yeah. So that coach will strip a couple of kilos off me between now and then. But yeah, I like to sit. I'm out of comp. I probably sit around 57, 58.
And then when you came out of Survivor, well, that might give away too much. But okay, the first time around, you lost a lot of muscle too. I lost heaps of muscle. I jiggled for the first time. 35 days, y'all. not changing undies. So yeah. But I found that I was fatiguing heaps when I came.
Done my teeth for the day. I'm pretty out of sorts.
Okay.
It becomes quite an obsession, and I probably have OCD, tendencies. You know, I am probably obsessive compulsive about things, and
Yeah.
I like just to get my fix in. It's just the way I've lived my life for so long that just the way I am.
Yeah.
And another big thing for me too, and look, this might be a little bit obsessive as well, but it's if you're kickstarting your weight loss goal or your fitness regime or whatever it is that you've got in mind, what keeps me in check, and you shouldn't be frightened of them because all they are is data, is the scales. Okay, so every morning, all this heavy jewelry has to come off. Helps if you've been to the toilet.
Yeah.
Stark naked.
Yeah.
I'll get on those scales, and that's what keeps me in line. So if I'm out of comp prep and I'm a little at the top end of what I want to be, I just make some allowances that day. I, rein it in a bit. And if I've got a bit of room to move, well, it's an extra glass of champagne or it's an extra slice of cheese or whatever. But don't be frightened of them because it's just data. It can be up, it can be down, it can be the same. But don't get discouraged or disheartened about those numbers because a lot of factors dictate what is on those scales.
Yeah.
Periods. You trained late, you ate late, fluid, salt, stress, all those sorts of things. So
Sleep's a big one too.
or someone else's scales.
Yeah. I think mine are wrong. I think they're out.
And get your sleep. I don't get enough because your body only burns fat when you're asleep, people. It's true.
Yeah, that's true. Otherwise we're just like breaking down sorry, wrong way. How do I change it back? Oops, sorry guys. I just double tap the screen. It'll come back. Hi.
Yeah.
I was trying to say hi to you guys. All right, so we might ask a couple of quick questions. JP, hot or not?
Hot.
Yeah? Hot at the second time?
Hot diggity dog. Looking better with age than old JLP. And I've actually got the same initials as him. I'm Jacqui Patterson.
Okay.
He's Jonathan.
There you go.
I got a little message from him the other day, so I might
you just texted him in the
yes, that's
right. All right, and who else on the island? Who's your favourite? Now that you've met all the people from my season, All Stars.
I was asked before I went on All Stars who I would like to play with and who I would like to see there.
Yeah.
And the first two people that come to mind were Lee Castledine and Sean Coombs, who were both there. Whether I get to work with them or not is to be seen. I also wanted to see Henry Nicholson. Hi, Henry, if you're watching. I was surprised myself, but hey, I got the call and I wasn't going to knock that back.
Yeah, of course. But who's your favourite player? Who's your all-time favourite player and why?
Do you know what? I've always had a soft spot for Jericho. And even though he wrote my name down twice, Jericho, he's a good egg. He's got a heart of gold. He's just a beautiful soul.
Yeah.
And I like Luke Toki too. But Jericho was voting him out because he won before. I thought if you're the best player, give it to him again. So
it's like Sandra.
I was very sad to see him go.
Yeah, he's a good player. There was another one, maybe like.
Definitely go back. Like I wouldn't say no to any of that because it's I love a challenge. I love being sleep deprived and food deprived and living out in the elements and seeing what you can cope with on a mental and physical level. And you'd be surprised because a lot of people say, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that." And you did that. You do it. You just do it.
You just in the moment.
You just if you break your leg, you just deal with it. You just get on with it.
I did, yeah.
That's right.
I broke my leg.
And I think sometimes when you do get an injury, like when I had my shoulder done and then I had the operation on the melanoma and I got a frozen shoulder and all the rest of it, I think sometimes you've got to find the silver lining. I think things have a shoulder. I'm going to do squats. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to tidy up my diet. Like, if you want to find an excuse, you'll find one.
Yes. And so and when I broke my leg, I did have times where I was extremely depressed about it, but of course you saw the little home videos I did. I still just kept going and doing what I could. Did you find when with your shoulder, how did you cope with? You had times where you're obviously pretty down
when it would get better, and I did everything in my power to rehab myself properly. I surrounded myself with good trainers and good coaches and rehabilitation people, and did as I was told, and I think that's important. And you don't just do it when you're at the gym. You've got to follow up with stuff at home. Yeah. And just kept moving, just kept getting my steps in. And
so you just didn't allow that negative mindset to come in.
Because I then focused on the next goal. I'm going to do this bodybuilding thing. I'm doing this rehab.
And do you write down your goals, or do you visualize them, and do you have some sort of system?
I think I'm more visual, and I've never been a person that I'm gonna do this. I'm a doer. I'm gonna do it, and I do it.
Okay.
I'm not a gunner.
You're just doing it.
If I say to you, I'm going to start a such and such business, or I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do whatever, I do it. Right. There's not many people out there, and there's nothing wrong with backing out of stuff. I put it out there. That's pretty much what's going to happen. Yeah.
Okay. Great. I like your determination. This is the people you've got to surround yourself with. All right. So, I'm going to ask you. I wanted to ask, what's your morning routine? So I try and ask everybody, what's your morning routine? Because I think if you win the morning, you win the day. You touched on it a bit, but tell us exactly what you do.
Okay, so my morning routine is I try and sleep in, but once there's a 3 in it, if it's 3:25 or something, I'm pretty well out of bed. I mean, that's hideous. But if I get after 4, it's like, woohoo, great. The night before, I've already prepped to go to the gym because I like to be organised and prepared, and it's less disruption to my husband's. Get on my gym gear, get dressed, get into the gym, drink my coffee on the treadmill.
Wow.
And then as soon as that coffee's done, I'm off. So I've already, cranked up probably 2,000 steps or whatever. And then it's training, and then it's home, and I've defrosted my oats in the fridge overnight.
Wow.
It's my black tea, my oats. And where I get my fat from for my breakfast is I have 15 grams of PB powder, which is a peanut butter powder. So if you haven't heard of that, Google PB powder, PB2 powder, and
you love that stuff.
1,000 steps without even trying. So,
I usually do about 20,000 a day on that.
Do you?
Yeah,
I know. I'm not
nutrition and workouts, especially for those that are over 40 or 50. So I'd love to share them, or Jacqui, I reckon, would love to share them with you. So keep an eye out for that as well. And thanks for tuning in today, guys. Stay out of the rain. Or if you're trying out for the next year's Survivor, go and stand in the rain. And just get used to it. All right,
Happy Sunday, guys.
Happy Sunday, guys. See you later. Bye. And bye. And no, that didn't happen. And now, and live stream.
So what was that then?